And nilikuwa tunaomba ku request maybe can we have My name is Dr. Jeremy. I'm the medical officer in charge. And nilikuwa tunaomba ku request maybe can we have
Oh.
Good point. Good point. If you can even put the button here.
Yuko sawa. Hata tulikuwa tumesahau kaka.
Yes, looking at the headlines of newspapers today across the board, the state of affairs in the Republic of Kenya is very unsatisfactory. When it comes to abduction, extrajudicial killing, missing persons, enforced disappearances, these are things that we thought under the new constitutional dispensation we may not be able to deal with them because we have a more caring society. But this is a face of the Ruto government. If you want to know what how the Ruto government looks, come to this house and let us give this traumatized, abducted, robbed, at application here in hospital. And now, 3 or 4 days down the line, it's not able to talk to him, it's not able to communicate. The doctors are still doing tests, radiation and central hospital. They are modern, shall I say aggressive ways of carrying out the fight that are not observed. So we need experts who can assess it. I have been saying all over again that right now undertake stop productions of disappearances. That was one of the principles points and that document signed executive one and a half years ago. Even in honor of Raila said that these things still happen. That's why I continue with this work as you were saying, to campaign with other parties that we must bring a stop to what is happening. Abductions should never really happen. The government should have come out there to explain what has happened. I am told that unmanned vehicles, the one is have been hovering. Instead of coming out openly to the problem, they are just monitoring who is coming to see babies and what others are trying to do. I think the solution will not be about talking to this very callous doctors. This is pure sadism where people enjoy and others suffer or pain. I hope that together as Republicans we're going to bring a stop to this. But I've lost hope. I don't think President Ruto's government is going to change. I think we have made enough noise. Raila made noise, the NCs have made noise, and nothing seems to happen. And then they come out with this program of compensation, which is really a pittance and without justice and accountability. So I think Kenyans should take Ruto for what it is and fight hard to make sure that next year there's change in Kenya. We're delighted that with the unity that we have undertaken with others to follow this case to the end and see justice. But as we are talking about Davis, the other two who are missing, I have been told that my colleague, Babu Wino, is going to have I don't know if it's an obvious focus on application, because of those the other 5 or so have been discharged, but we have to follow up their situation until we get appropriate answers. And finally, I want to say that, these conversations scheme that the government is administering. Imagine checking some questions I have from Harvard before. He was killed at a young age of around 30 years with a little boy. Imagine this lady was going to live as a widow the rest of her life. That little boy has no father for the rest of her life. And then they offer 3 million shekels. I mean, that is what is paid to those who lose animals to wildlife, or whose properties are attacked by wildlife. There's a fund, that the government has lose property or to suffer injury from a wild animal, you can be compensated. That's the category to which Kenyans who have been killed belong. That is mere prejudice, and without justice is not appropriate compensation to suffer.
My name is Ode Francis. You say you've lost hope. What do you do?
I've lost hope in this government. Without talking to them can yield results. Somebody like Raila Odinga went out of his way and said, even if we restore my election, let us talk as a nation and find out if we can solve these problems. And he went into a 10-point agenda with Ruto, both of them signed, as in this election. By Ruto as president, Raila as a fighter in the opposition. And they said they are going to stop abductions and extrajudicial killings and forced disappearances. And many months after Raila died, and that's why I'm saying we lost hope. It will not happen. And the thing is just keep on fighting until change comes.
My name is Steve. What's your message to those 25 new relation protesters claiming that it amounts to a lot of people being left? Number 2, we saw the work of February being one of the last.
Karuka part of the question Oh yeah, I understand. Now, the issue of conflict of interest has been dealt with many times. There are court judgments. What the Constitution says is that you cannot represent an individual in circumstances when you're being paid fees. That is what the Constitution says. I've had that conflict myself raised by the Republic, by the government. In many cases, including the case I represented Jomo about 5 years ago, where the issue was brought up. The issue was brought up in Lucia when I was representing Governor Utuoma. The issue has been brought up many times when I was representing the Deputy Chief Justice, when the Republic of the prosecutor was set offenses. So, but the court has made a ruling. The circumstances where that conflict can stop you to case your representation. And why Babu and I? Why these many other lawyers who part of them? You see my friend with whom we have done cases, Senator Orengo, doing so many cases. Many. Actually, if we take account of people either in government or in parliament who are doing these cases, there are many. But when it comes to Babu and myself, they seem to be bringing that question. But if it was now a settled law, every time we appear in court, a magistrate or a judge can bring up that issue suo motu without being confronted with an application. Over the years, I can tell you, the practice is that advocates take cases for the government resolutions. They've had officials and presidents of the Law Society, Mute, Gautam, like those members of parliament or ministers, and they'll still continue to do the cases. And I think it just simply ludicrous that in circumstances where people really deserve to be represented, government will be raising these issues. I'm going to come up with a list where people are representing the Republic. Because a lot of them are calling me names now, but I can tell you each one of them when they're in trouble. Beginning with even the current president, I've represented when they're in trouble. But when they are comfortable in their seats of power, then they come up with this kind of issues. My friend in Nakuru was being brutalized. I'm ashamed. This is not the first time it has happened to me. There was another person again who was beaten up near villages. That shows the nature of the state that we have. Because if we cannot have pity on a disarmed person, I'm not disarmed, an armed person who's peaceably, then the state is just showing a degree of sadism that is difficult to understand. But I hope that that matter will be taken up. And certainly we require to reach out to our family and seek what justice is done.
My name is Dr. Jeremy. I'm the medical officer in charge. And nilikuwa tunaomba ku request, maybe can we have
Good point for the Good point. If you can even put the button here.
Yuko sawa, hata tuko tumesahau kaka.
Yes, looking at the headlines of newspapers today across the board, the state of affairs in the Republic of Kenya is very unsatisfactory. When it comes to abduction, extrajudicial killing, missing persons, enforced disappearances, these are things that we thought under the new constitutional dispensation we may not be able to deal with them because we have a more caring society. But this is a face of the Ruto government. If you want to know what how the Ruto government looks, come to this hospital and let us get this traumatized, abducted, robbed, application here at the hospital. And now, 3 or 4 days down the line, it's not able to talk, it's not able to communicate. The doctors are still just very They are not, shall I say, not aggressive ways of carrying out the trials. They are not observed. And so we need the experts to tell us exactly what happens. I have been saying all over again that right now, undertake stop abductions of citizens. That was one of the principles of points of that document was signed one and a half years ago. Even in honor of Raila said that the number of states, these things have still happened. That's why I continue with this work, as you were saying, to campaign with other parties that we must bring a stop to what is happening. Abductions should never really happen. The government should have come out there to explain what has happened. I am told that unmanned vehicles belong to this have been probably instead of coming out openly, they are just monitoring who is coming to see babies, and what others are trying to do some other situations. I think the solution will not be about talking to this very callous this is pure sadism, where people enjoy and others suffer or pain. I hope that together as Republicans, we're going to bring us to this. But I've lost hope. I don't think President Trump's government is going to change. I think we have made enough noise. Raila made noise. The NCs have made noise. And nothing seems to happen. And then they come out with this program of compensation, which is really a pittance and without justice and accountability. So I think Kenyans should take Pluto for what it is and fight hard to make sure that next year there's change again. We're delighted that the unity will change. We have undertaken with others to follow this case to the end and see what this is. But as we are talking about Davis, there are other 2 who are missing. I have been told that my colleague, Babu Wino, has been an application and the money box. I don't know if it's an obvious office application, but it's an application because of those people who are missing. The other 5 also have been discharged, but we have to find out their situation until to get the public answers. And finally, I want to say that, these conversations in the Congress is a ministry that is disastrous. It should never really happen. Imagine checking the information somebody I believe that Harvard report. He was killed at a young age of around 30 years with a little boy. Imagine this lady is going to live as a widow the rest of her life. That little boy has no father for the rest of her life. And then you're offered 3 million shekels. I mean, that is what is paid to those who use animals, the wildlife, whose properties are attacked by wildlife. There's a fund, that the government has lose property or to suffer injury from a wild animal, they can be compensated. That's the category to which Kenyans who have been killed belong. That is, to me, a prejudice, and without justice is not appropriate compensation for suffering.
My name is Ode Francis. You said you've lost property. What do you do?
I've lost hope in this government. Without talking to them, can yield results.